All right, good morning. It is August 5th. This morning I made a cozy cabin. I'm going to rename that candle, but I'm just setting it up here. Of course, I've sped up the video as usual, and I started with the candle that I already had, a vanilla candle. I'm doing something a little different. I actually am putting 3 wicks, the -735 wicks in this candle, because I'm finding I actually lit one of my candles here. It's just a meditative, cozy way of doing that. Just having that candle with me. So back to my candle. So I started with the cozy candle fragrance from the flaming candle. The flaming candle has some awesome fragrances. But again, I started with the cozy candle, cozy cabin candle fragrance, and here I am setting up the process. And what I'm doing is putting on some gloves because I did not want to get the fragrances mixed up together. And I'm actually about to clean this 8-ounce candle container. So here I'm setting up my bag, and I throw everything away. I don't reuse that wax. And of course the wicks are no good anymore. They've burnt down. And I use basically a plastic spudger, something you can use, anything hard plastic. I wouldn't use metal because metal will scrape the bottom of your container, and you don't want to scrape that, any type of metal into your container when you are getting rid of any old wax. So I use a plastic spudger here, I call it, a little scraper, and I just empty all of that old wax, the wick stickers. I empty that into that plastic bag. Yes, plastic bags are good for just about anything. So I'm using that to scrape it all out. I scrape out as much as I can right here, and you can see everything in that bag, and I just toss that container to the side. But I will treat it more gently in a little while. But I'm wiping off that spudger that I use, that scraper that I use. And again, plastic is better. Do not use metal on your containers. It will scrape up any metal that's already in the container. Metal against metal, no. So I just take that and I emptied it, and I'm cleaning up the space, and I did set the container upright. And I'm coming back with that napkin, which I'm using to clean out any residual from there. And I just clean that out first before I use my hand sanitizer, which I'm about to use shortly. I use that to clean out, again, any old wax, any, soot, anything that's in the candle, or the container that I had in there. And the wick stickers actually left a mark in the bottom. I'm going to show it up close in a moment to, let you all see. There is like spots on the bottom that you can see from where the wick stickers were. And I'm finding that the -7.5, I'm sorry, -795 wicks are a little bigger for those 8-ounce containers, but I do have them in the containers. Just be mindful when you burn one of the candles, and do provide feedback. I appreciate any feedback. So you can see there those 2 marks. They look significantly lighter than the container itself. That's because they were burning away actually the inside of the container, and I did not like that. So I'm trying the -735 wicks with the 8-ounce container, and I'm using 3. You'll see it at the end of the video if you stay to the end, and I appreciate that. But I'm cleaning now with the hand sanitizer. I'm actually using a leftover napkin. I use a lot of napkins to get this process done. I don't use cloth. I don't use cloth because I don't rewash anything. And the napkins will break down in the landfill. They're, compostable. So I'm going through that process now. And I just cut the video to where I started wicking the container, and I'm using the wick stickers that I have available. I have 10,000 wick stickers, and I've had them for years, so they aren't going anywhere. And I'm using those wick stickers to set in the wicks shortly. There you can see the wick stickers in the bottom. I used 3 in a triangle shape. And I'm taking off the wick sticker paper now so I can set the wicks in place. And you can see there, I'm using my little trusty pliers. I've had these pliers for years. It's my father's pliers. Thank you, Papa. I am setting in those wicks now, and this again is the negative 735 wicks that I have from the Flaming Candle. I buy 99.9% of my supplies from the Flaming Candle, if not from other vendors, of course. But I'm setting those wicks in place. Again, that's negative 735 wicks that I'm trying with the 8 ounce. And again, you can see the picture at the end. You stay to the end, you'll see the picture, or you can just fast forward the video, either way. And here I am setting them up. I was trying to set them up in a triangle shape, but I wasn't feeling that. So I ended up setting them up just straight across, like crisscross, basically. And just going through the process here of setting that up. And I was really taking my time setting that up. So you can see, yeah, I started doing the crisscross pattern instead of the triangle pattern. And there you go. You can see it in the crisscross pattern. And then I went to my melter. I am out of wax just about. I have to buy another 100 pounds of wax. And I'm about to pour it here. And my hand was in the way, so I just switched hands to show how I pour it. It comes out in a faster stream than that. It was clogged up, and I really didn't need a lot of wax from that. So, and then I'm cutting back to me using the container now, or setting up the container. I took out the little popsicle sticks that I used to set it up, because I just wanted to have the container available without pouring the fragrance over the popsicle sticks. I do want to reuse those popsicle sticks because they are reusable. So that's where I am now with it. And then I go ahead and get the fragrance set up. I just move the camera around a bit here. And I'm using my scoop to measure out the fragrance. You can use a 1 ounce fragrance or 1 ounce plastic bottle, but I pretty much eye my fragrances. I know the formula. For every 8 ounces, it's half an ounce of fragrance. So again, 8 ounce is half an ounce of fragrance. That's the fragrance load I use. Some people use 8%, some people use 10%. I choose to use a half an ounce for every 8 ounce, because when I open the door to my bedroom while I'm burning candles, which I use my own candles, yes, I want that scent to be enormous in that room, to, not overtake, but be pleasant in that room. You can smell it from the front to the back end. And here I am pouring it from that larger scoop into the candle. And I just, poured it until I got enough where it was just barely dripping. And then I went ahead and wiped out the scooper, because I want to get rid of any fragrance in it. And I will sanitize it again before I complete it, before I use the scooper again. So here I am setting up the cross of it, and I just basically put the fragrance next to it to give myself a gentle reminder of what fragrance I'm using. And I write out the fragrance. You can see it in the picture at the end. I write out Cozy Cabin, and I will rename it. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to rename it. If you all have any suggestions, you can comment below. Let me know what suggestions you think would work well with this fragrance. Again, I start with Cozy Cabin, and I'm going from there. But I just want to give you all a brief idea of how I started this morning with this fragrance. And here it is. That's the end result without the popsicle sticks, and that's with it. Peace.